In today's session agenda, we will start with the required role security permissions and company settings that need to be set up by your company's PSA administrator or by a user that has the security permissions to do so. Next, we'll review how to create your consumable materials list in the products list, followed by how users can add materials to the job file from either the web or mobile applications. And finally, we'll review how the material items applied create an actual job cost in the job financials and the reports that can be pulled to view the applied materials and the associated costs. We will start off with reviewing the required role security permissions. Navigate to the main menu settings, Roles, select the Edit button next to the Administrator role. Select Inventory, select Product. For the role to be able to create, delete, edit, recover, and view the materials in the product list, these security permissions will need to be enabled within the applicable roles. These security permissions are typically assigned to only the administrator role or for the roles that will be responsible for creating and maintaining the materials themselves in the product list. For roles that simply need to add the materials to the job files, these security permissions are located under Jobs, Materials. When selected, the Allow Cost Change will allow the user to modify the material's defaulted cost to a cost of the user's choosing before applying the material to the job file. The Allow Negative Quantity will allow the user to add a negative quantity of the material to the job file. The Create will allow the user to add a material item to the job file. The Delete will allow the user to remove a material item from the job file. The Edit will allow the user to edit a previously entered material item on the job file. The Recover will allow the user to recover a previously deleted material item from the job file. Typically, if you're giving the role the security permissions to delete, you will also give the role the ability to recover. And finally, View will allow the user to view the Materials tab and material items applied on the job file. Without this security permission enabled, the Material tab will not be visible to the user on the job file in the web application. As always, if changes are made to the role security permissions, make sure to select the Save button before navigating away. You'll want to repeat these steps for each applicable role security. Please note, changes to the role security permissions can take up to 5 minutes to update and reflect in the user accounts. Before the administrator can set up the material items in the products list, we will need to complete the setup in the company settings. To do this, navigate to the main menu settings, Company Settings. Select Inventory. Within Inventory, there are two options to consider. Use stock location on costs. When enabled, this setting will allow the user to assign a stock location to the material item. If enabled, the administrator will need to also set up the applicable stock locations from the main menu, Equipment, select Warehouse and Trucks, select Create. Once the stock location is created, it will be available for selection from the drop-down list when the material item is created in the products list and added to the job file. Do not include employees in stock location list. When enabled, this setting will remove the employee's name from appearing as a possible selection in the location drop-down list. Please note this setting is used in tandem with our equipment tracking feature and will apply to both stock locations and products and locations and equipment tracking. Finally, within the company settings, we will need to set up the applicable units of measure. Units of measure are necessary when creating new material items in the products list. Once the Edit unit is selected, you will see a list of any existing units. To create a new unit of measure, simply click on the Create button located in the top left. Enter the desired description name and select the Save button. Once created, the unit will now be available for selection. Next, we will review how to create a new material item in the products list. Once created, these material items will be available for selection by the users to apply to the job files, which will also add an actual cost to the job financials. To view and create new material items, navigate to the main menu, select Equipment, select Products. Please note for our PSA desktop and web accounting clients that the creation of the consumable material items will need to be created in those applications in the inventory menu, which once created will sync to Proven Jobs products. To create a new material item, click the Create button located in the top left. Enter the desired description name. In the Sales Account, Inventory Account, and Cost of Sales account, select the generic account from the drop-down list. Select the desired unit of measure and stock location if enabled in the company settings. Enter the desired cost for the material item in accordance with the unit of measure selected. The price, while it's not applicable when applying material to a job file, however, items created in the products list can also be used in the job's work orders to establish the job scope and estimated revenue. The use of the products with the work orders will be reviewed further in a separate Proven Learning Series session. The product default price/cost type will be defined as either material, labor, or expense and will display accordingly on the job financials and reporting. When creating new material items, we recommend selecting material. A barcode, which is optional, can be added to the material item to allow users to scan a barcode opposed to manually selecting the item from the drop-down list. In our experience, for ease of use, some clients have created a master document listing all barcodes for their consumable materials so they can easily be scanned, opposed to scanning the actual barcode off the shelf or rack of where the product is physically stored in the warehouse or truck. The category and subphase ID, also known as selector, will display accordingly on the job financials and reporting. If unsure, we recommend using direct costs and a subphase ID selector of 1. Finally, the sync to mobile work order. While it is not applicable when applying materials to a job file, however, items from the products list, as mentioned before, can also be used in work orders. If the item needs to be available for selection in the mobile application work orders, the Sync to Mobile work order will need to be enabled. The use of products with work orders, again, will be reviewed further in a separate Proven Learning Series session. Next, we will review how to add a material to a job file from the Proven Jobs web application. Add a material to the job file in the Proven Jobs web application. Navigate to the job file and open by clicking the Edit button. Select the Materials tab and click the Create button in the upper left. Select the desired quantity, product from the drop-down list, stock location if applicable, unit. Cost will also pre-populate with the default cost setup in the products list. However, users with the security permissions to modify can do so. Category and selector will also pre-populate with the default setup in the products list. However, users can make a new selection from the drop-down list. Please note that the category and selector fields will only populate with the category and selectors that have been set up on the job types in the company settings. Once all desired selections have been made, click the Save button. Once saved, the material will be added to the job file and apply at an actual cost to the job financials. Next, we will review how to add a material from the Proven Jobs mobile application. To add a material to the job file in the Proven Jobs mobile application, select either the Transfer or the Jobs My Schedule from the main menu. If selecting the Transfer, select the toggle in the upper right to Material. By default, this menu will be set to Equipment. Select the Add button in the upper left. Select the applicable job by selecting the magnifying glass to the right of the job field. If a barcode has been assigned to the materials, the users can use the camera button to scan the barcode. If not, the user can manually select the product by selecting the magnifying glass. Update the stop location if applicable, and enter the desired quantity. Select the unit, modify the category and selector if applicable, and click the Save button. Once saved, the added material will be displayed and will sync and update the job file in the Proven Jobs web application. Or, if selecting the Jobs My Schedule from the main menu, select the job from the job list by clicking on it. Select the Transfer button at the bottom, and again, selecting the toggle at the top to Material. Please note, if you need to review the history of your material transfers, this can be done from the main menu. Select Sync Info, select History, select Materials on the applicable date. Finally, there are a few reports that users can run in Proven Jobs to review the materials added to the job file and its associated cost. These reports are the Material List Report and the Actual Cost Report. Please note that the actual cost reports will also include all job costs, not just materials applied to the job file. To run these reports, navigate to the main menu, Reports, select List All, enter the desired report name in the searchable field, and click the View button. This does conclude our Proven Learning Series session on using materials in Proven Jobs. If you have any questions or concerns or would like to schedule a training session, please direct them to our PSA support team at support@canmsys.com. We appreciate your attendance and thank you for your continued business.